Hi everyone, it's Soulrise here and welcome to Soulrise Gaming's full guide to heroes. So in this episode I'm going through the introduction of the heroes in Tap Titans 2, the hero masteries, overview of the heroes, so that's 37 heroes currently in the game, the whole hero list, so details of all the heroes including lore, the passive abilities and much more, and then the hero connections. They're all linked in some sort of way, so I've done a little hero tree to show you how they're linked and how cool that is. Now to start off, heroes, you can hire heroes that will attack automatically. Heroes scale similarly to the Swordmaster. Instead of having skills that increase their own damage, they get pet damage multipliers at every 20 levels starting from 10. They keep getting these multipliers as long as you level them, but the multipliers are spaced out more the higher the level you go. So every 30 levels, 40 levels, etc. Heroes have attack types. These are melee, spell, ranged heroes and area types like flying and ground. We'll go through that a bit more in the hero list. There are many multiples to a single type of hero damage quite early on. You'll find yourself specializing in one type of hero depending on your equipment and pets. However, at first it's sufficient to level all heroes regardless of type, as there are certain heroes that are efficient at each stage. So more of this in the strategy section, so this will be more explained later on in the hero list. Heroes have the skills that you can buy when you reach a certain level. The milestones are near the hero themselves. So just a bit of misinformation about heroes. Hero damage is used to boost clanship damage. Warcry is the main skill for boosting hero damage. It also increases their attack speed. Fire Sword does not boost heroes at all, nor does critical damage. This is only damage falls unaffected by crit damage. Heroes do not boost pet damage. Now there's hero masteries. There's two types. There's scrolls and weapons. So for scrolls, hero scrolls are collected on completion of a clan raid. Initially it provide 5% effect to hero abilities. A completed set offers 10% bonus. These effects are boosted by the Quill of Scrolls and Old King Stamps artifacts. So if you look at the game in-game on the right and also on the screen there, you can see Quill of Scrolls and Old King Stamps. So there's a bit of lore and description of what they are. So they are rank A artifacts, that are quite useful. They only have a max level of 80, but they do provide an 80% all artifact damage. So they both boost hero abilities, so they're very good to have. Now, the hero scrolls and fortune scrolls upgrades are collected from clan raids. There are 37 scrolls to collect, so that's one scroll for each hero. Assembling a full collection of scrolls for the first time will provide a 5% ability boost to all heroes. Each consecutive scroll will give you an extra 10% bonus each time. The two variants of items to be collected: hero scrolls, which give you a random hero scroll upgrade, and a fortune scroll, which will give you the hero scroll upgrade of which you have the least amount of. Now there's hero mastery weapons. Hero weapons and fortune weapon upgrades are collected from weapon tournaments, silver and titan chest, week 2 of day 5 of reward. Hero specific weapons can appear in shops for 1 to 3 at a time. Once you have a specific weapon for a certain hero, you can upgrade cost. Milestone is free. There are 37 weapons to collect, one for each hero. Assembling a full collection of weapons for the first time will provide a 10 times damage boost to the heroes. Each consecutive weapon set will add an extra 4 times bonus each time. There are 2 variants of items to be collected. So the weapon upgrade standard will give you a random hero weapon upgrade, and the fortune weapon will give you a hero weapon upgrade of which you have the least amount of. Now there's 37 heroes in the game. All hero skills affect you globally. They can give you gold multipliers, damage multipliers, extra chesting and critical damage, and damage for a particular hero type. Most of the skills are worth getting, but some are better than others. Heroes do not get attacked and thus will not die. This list and the pages list ascended stages, and these can and will change based on the power of your gold artifacts, equipment, pets, etc. Anything really affects this. So this is just an estimated about what the initial cost of them to level, and also the ascended cost might level on later in the game. So this is just a quick rundown of what you can expect. It will go in much detail right now. So there are 37 starting from number 1, so this will be an ascending order. I won't go through every single hero in detail. Feel free to pause this video and go through, otherwise the video will be very long indeed. So I'm just going to do a brief summary of each one. The Male Morita the Watcher, she's a ground type magic caster. Main effects and passive abilities are in critical damage and chest enchants. And if you look on the side to the right there, you can see at what levels you need to get the hero so you can get those abilities unlocked, and what percentages of those can you unlock when you ascend. I've also put the ascended profile picture. So the grey border is the basic one, and then you've got blue border which is first ascended, and then the green and yellow for second and third ascended. There will be the same theme throughout all the heroes as I flick through the page. I'm just going to explain this in a bit more detail about what each section means. So looking at the table on the left, you've got the initial cost which is 30, and initial cost SCI, and that means scientific notation. So whether or not you've enabled that in your settings or not, you can look at those two different sections. So scientific notation, if you have switched it on, if not, look at the one on the left, and the cost of this is in gold. So that section is telling you how much it costs to unlock it, and then the right section tells you what level of the hero it will take to unlock the abilities. So the lore at the bottom explains a bit about her, and if you can see, I've highlighted in red the main bits where I found that this character has connected with another character, and I'll show you a pretty cool family tree at the end of this video. So go on to the next hero. You got Zato the Blind Staff Master. That's a melee type ground type, and his main effects are in critical damage and Deshiton with all damage and boss gold. So pretty rounded. And again, this is cost shown in skill and lore at the bottom. And this is Sophia. She's a melee ground type, and as you see, as the heroes go up, the initial cost increases, and her main damage effects is in tap and critical damage. Then you have Lance, and he's a melee ground, and again his effect is in melee, funny enough, and all hero damage. And then you got Pingo of the Tory, little Pingo Berry there, samurai dude, and he's in ranged grounds, and his is mana capacity and mana regeneration. He's actually really handy to have level up high, because you need quite good mana regeneration and mana capacity if you're doing a slow build run. And then you go to Rosabella. She's an archer type ground type hero, and her main effects are in boss gold and all damage and hero damage. You've got Gold Brand, who's a melee type ground hero, and his effects are in chesting and all damage. Then number 8, you have Captain Davy, bearded ranger, who's a ground type, and a ranged hero is his effects and boss gold and basic titan and chesting gold and all gold. So when he gets past evolve 2, he's got quite several gold type bonuses, which is quite handy. Rice, Mage of the Order. He is a melee ground type, which is kind of weird for a mage to be a melee. You think there'd be a magic type, but anyway, he's a melee hero damage character with effect of hero damage and tap damage and all damage as well. And then you have Kinos, Bringer of Judgment, and he's a magic type ground spell. Hero damage is his effect, and his all gold and all hero damage. Then you have Corset, Jewel of House Saber. She's a melee ground type hero, and her main effects are in tap damage and all damage and chesting damage for gold. And then you have Kiki, who's a magic type ground hero, which again is a bit weird since she rides a dragon. I don't know if she'd be ground and not flying, but she's a spell hero damage with all damage and gold damage. And then you got Maddy, who's a ranger ground type, who's ranged hero damage and all hero damage and all gold. Beat Sprouts, whose main abilities is mana capacity with gold source and fairy gold bonus and all gold and boss gold. And then you have Sawyer, the Wild Gunslinger, who's ranged and ground type with his effects in tap damage and all damage and chest and gold. Lil Ursa, who is main effects are in mana regeneration and mana capacity, which is another good one for slow build, and he's a spell type ground type hero. Then you got Sage the Garden Keeper. He's a ranged ground type. This is a ranged hero in his effects and with chesting times gold, chesting and boss gold all gold. Wally Way, the Magician Keeper, who's a spell ground hero type. So his main effects are in spell hero and all gold and boss gold. You have Jace, the Ruthless Cutter, who's melee ground type hero, and his main effects are in melee hero damage, all damage and tap damage. Then you have the Great Pharaoh, who's a spell damage ground type hero, and his main effects are in fairy gold and chesting gold. Then you have Boomo Doctor, who's a melee type ground, but his effects is times 10 gold chance and boss gold fairy. And you got Dex 1000, who's a melee ground type hero, and his main effects are critical chance and all damage crit chance. Then you have Great Madame Cass, who's a magic caster with ground type hero, and her effects are chest and chance, all gold and chest and gold. Then you have Lala Quickshot, who's a ranged ground type hero, whose effects are boss gold, all hero damage and all damage tap damage. Aya, the Lightning Violet, who's a melee class ground type hero, whose fairy gold effects and all gold and chest and gold. Then you have Lady Lucy, the Nightcaster, who's a magic type ground hero with effects in critical damage, all gold and all damage. Then you have Jazz Rockfellow at number 27, who's a magic type ground hero with all damage and all gold, all hero damage. You can see the cost now is getting quite high. Then you have Maple the Autumn Guardian, who's a melee flying type, which again is a bit weird because she's got a wand, but she does melee attack on her broom. And her effects are boss, fairy, chestin, gold chance times 10, boss gold, and an all gold. It's quite a mixture there. She's pretty good. And then you got Kin the Puffy Beast, who's a ranged flying type, which is a bit weird because it looks like he should be fighting. But his main effects are chestin gold and chestin chance. Then you have Princess Tatina of Fae, who's a magic type flying hero whose main effects are mana capacity, mana regeneration. And then you have Miki, the Graceful Dancer, and the class is ranged ground type. Her main effects are critical damage and critical chance. Then you have Mina, the Princess of the Light, and she's a spell hero ground type with main effects in all damage, all hero damage, range damage, spell damage, tap damage, all hero damage. So she's quite a rounded person. And you got Zephyr, the Fearsome Bandit, who's a melee ground type. His main effects are in chesting gold, fairy gold, and tap damage boss gold. They have Zolom Blaster, who's a ranged flying type, whose main effects are 10 times gold chance and boss gold all gold. You got Finn the Funny Guard, who's a ranged type ground type hero, whose effects are ranged hero damage and all hero damage. Then you have Noni the Spirit Hero, who's a melee class flying hero, and his main effects are melee hero damage and tap damage. Then you got finally the last one, Damien of Darkness, who is a spell type flying hero, whose main effects are spell hero damage and shadow clone damage. Now that's it in details. If you want to pause the video and go through the lore or each of the sections in more detail for free, you can download this in PDF form for free on my website, which is soulrisegaming.uk. Now this is just a hero connection, so from all the lores I've read, I've put this into 4 different categories. So you've got searching, friends, family and enemies. So again, feel free to look at this to see how which one connects with each other, but I just think it's quite good that they all have a story that link to each other and they never met each other. Some of them are searching for them, some of them has past rivalries, some of them are family members. I just think this lore is quite cool. What I'm doing at the moment, hopefully I'll be releasing in-depth lore videos which will explain this in more interesting format. So I'm working with an artist who's doing a animated version of this. I'll probably release a video for each one, which will probably do like a comic book format, which will have like a few minutes of introducing the character in animated form, how they find the Tap Titans. So there'll be several lore videos leading up to meeting together and the Swordmaster defeating the Titan Lords. So I'm trying to basically do an animated series on the lore of Tap Titans 2. Watch this space if that sounds good, and if this helped you in any way, remember to like and hit that subscribe button. I also stream on Twitch every Sunday from 9 PM, so you can catch me on there, and I'll release Tap Titan videos every week. Well, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Take care. Bye.